Today we're removing the stereo from a Lincoln Town Car. See our website for aftermarket installation and amplifier bypass video. We're going to start with a small flathead screwdriver, and we're going to pry the small panel across the push button panel here. We're going to start at the right, work our way across, and release the clip securing this panel to the dash and remove it. This is going to expose 3 screws, one to the left of the buttons, one towards the center, and one towards the right. And we're going to remove these 3 screws. Down along the bottom of the dash, around the bottom of the steering column, is a U-shaped panel that we're going to remove 2 screws on the bottom of this and pull this straight down. It will release, and you can set this to the side. We're going to remove the remaining 2 screws across the bottom of the dash for the panel that goes around the car stereo. Open the ashtray assembly and remove 1 screw at the bottom right of the panel around the car stereo. Now what we have here is the upper panel overlaps the lower panel we need to release. So with our flathead screwdriver, we're going to gently pry the bottom of the panel away from the dash. You'll notice that these 3 clips across the bottom of the panel have pins that go into them, and if you have to lift these tabs up far enough for the panel behind it to lift up and release over this pin as well. And you can work your way across this panel, releasing this panel from the pins as you pry it up. This will access the car stereo. There are 4 screws securing the car stereo to the dash, and pull it from the dash. Now you've pulled the stereo out of the dash and have access to the back of the stereo. And in order to release these connectors, the main antenna, usually this is a universal antenna, and to remove most antennas you grasp it by the base and it just removes. To reinstall it, it just goes back in and push it in till it's tight. Now connectors are a little bit different story here. We have down the back here, we have the main connector into the back of the radio. And in order to remove this connector, I'm going to use my thumbnail and push down on this little trigger at the top of the connector. This will allow the lock on the connector to release, and usually you can wiggle this connector loose once pushing that trigger down. This can be difficult at times. There we go. There we go. Now this main connector, again, there is a trigger here on the top. You can see the little hooks right here, and these hooks go in and lock the connector into place, and to release that you push this trigger down. It lowers the hooks. This goes for most connectors. This is a Chrysler connector, and we have still the little hooks that are sitting right in here, and the lock at the back. And you push this down, this clip down, and it will release the connector when wiggling loose. We also have the Honda connector here. This one has a trigger at the center of it here, and you push this down as well and can release this connector. Now all these connectors are keyed, even though they're for different vehicles. Most connectors in the car are keyed differently, so they only go back to one spot, and there's no mistake of putting them in the wrong spot. This is how you remove the stereo from a Lincoln Town Car. See our website for aftermarket installation and amplifier bypass. Hope this video has been helpful. Please subscribe, and thank you for watching.